Okay, we are live. Okay. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another insecurity. Cancel that.
We went back in time there for a minute.
Yeah, let's cancel that. Kill the track. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another security podcast on the In30 Network. We are at episode 71, and we want to talk something a little dark, a little underground, a little taboo, but Tom convinced me this would be a good idea, and let Tom take it. Let him say the first words.
Well, you see, Lifehacker has their evil week, where they go into everything dark, like cracking Wi-Fi, cracking passwords, keyloggers, and even, yes, everyone's favorite word on the internet, piracy. We know you're going to do it. We know we can tell you not to do it. We know we can even advocate and rally against it for so many great reasons. But we know, and we've done it too, sometimes you just can't get what you want at the price you want it, or on the format you want it, or at the place you want that content. So you're going to go to the dark, seedy underbelly of the internet and grab the content that you want to see, hear, or view without paying for it. And we're going to tell you how to do that safely. Now, we're not advocating piracy, please. The first thing I want to say is, oh no, that thing isn't on Netflix? Go to canistream.it. Type in the thing you want to see, movie, television show, doesn't matter. It'll show you where that thing is streaming, where you can digitally rent it, where you can purchase it, where you can rent a disc, whatever. You should look there first, because the thing you want to see, you should probably throw some money at it. Throw a couple dollars out there and say, yes, you're on the platform, you're in the format, and you're the type of content I want to see more of. Vote with your dollars. It really does help. So canistream.it, fantastic resource, totally legal. It will not stream things to you. It'll just show you where you can go to pay for things. Or if you have something like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu Plus, it'll give you links to where you can view that.
Well, let's see. 5 years ago, I think everyone was afraid of the internet. Everyone was afraid that there would be no way to monetize all of this, and it looks like it seemed to be. So Metallica and AC/DC way back when said, "Okay, we're going to sue individual users," and people said, "We don't mind paying for it. We need it right now. Find a way to get this for us right now. Find a way to make this legal, and we'll pay for it." And it seems like it's working for those who want to do it.
Oh, man. So if you look at the graphs of torrent traffic on the internet, one of the biggest protocols that people use to distribute content, illegal and completely legal, torrenting is not a bad word. Torrenting is not a bad protocol. It just can be used in bad ways, like FTP, like HTTP. Torrenting is not inherently evil. Let's get that straight. But when Netflix, in its heyday, when it first started getting huge, $8 a month, as many movies and TV shows as I can handle, I can stream 24 hours a day. This is insane. It actually cut the torrent traffic for the internet as a whole in half, proving, probably not once and for all, but I can hope and dream that the Hollywood executives would realize, wait a minute, piracy isn't just a problem with people being cheap. It's not because people don't want to pay for things. Piracy is a business problem. If we make it available for them at the price they want, in the format they want, they'll pay for it. Someone didn't get the memo because people are still being sued for downloading torrents.
Well, look, in college, and I'll freely admit it, we all did a lot of shady, illegal things in college. It was a bad time for a lot of us. I was able to get whatever I wanted. And I bought my huge, at that time, 120 gig external hard drive, and I just loaded it up. Just loaded it up with everything I could find. And I don't even know what I have on it. I mean, I can go back and it looked interesting. I downloaded it. If it was this, I downloaded it. I probably have never seen it, whether it be movies or music. I think I remember hearing some band, insert band name here. They had their one-hit wonder. I just downloaded everything they ever made. And now I look back and I go, wait, I was never listened to this. I never wanted this. I just wanted that one song, and now I have hundreds of their songs. And I said, so I ended up deleting it. But again, it's pirators are going to pirate it. They may never watch it. They will see the movie. Oh, I think I should have every single James Bond movie ever made. They're never going to watch it, but it's just there to say that I have it. So it's one of those. It's one of those. Not all pirates are actually stealing. They're just doing it to have it, to like hoard digital content, which is not the right answer, but they do it.
You know, I will be the first to admit this is going to be the first step in my 12-step program. I am a data hoarder. I keep everything, little text file notes, any MP3 I come across, doesn't matter what it is, anything in the world. Any movie, any TV show, even if I hate it, even if it's like the worst thing ever, I'm just like, that was horrible. That was a waste of 2 hours of my life. Let me put this on the external drive so I can never watch that again. I can't get rid of data. It's horrible. One thing that has helped me stop collecting over the years is stuff like Netflix, Spotify, Google Music, Amazon Prime Video, all those things. But yeah, data hoarding, it happens. And people like me, they tend to pack rat a lot of things.
Well, somebody said, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but you have the two different camps. You have the people that want to find something, and you have the people, like you said, like not like us, but want to have it just to have it. They're never going to pay for it. They're going to share it, but they're never going to use it. They're never going to pay for it. So you might as well give it to them, hoping that they go to the free the concert or maybe the sequel of the movie or whatever it is.
Or even if they go to IMDb and they said, hey, I saw this movie. I didn't pay for it, and I totally downloaded it from some website somewhere. But it was a really great movie. I give this 9 out of 10 stars. And then someone like me looks online and says, oh, wow, that looks like a great movie. I should rent that on Amazon and watch it tonight. Stuff like that, especially indie game developers have understood that if your stuff gets pirated and people love it, they're going to go out there, they're going to tell people about it, they're going to leave reviews, people are going to play the game, and then some of them, not all of them by any means, probably not even half of them, but some of them are going to play the game on, from the pirated website that they just downloaded it from and say, wow, that was really good. I think I should buy that on Steam, or Good Old Games, or the Humble Bundle, or whatever other game store they have. So it's not all bad. If used properly, piracy can be a huge marketing engine.
Was it the Academy Award movie a couple of years ago, The Hurt Locker? I mean, I think the budget was $100 million, and they only made like 5 or 6. It was so low. But they went after all these people who pirated it. And again, the same argument I just made is that these people would never have paid for it anyway. They would have never paid for it. You were never going to get them to go to the movie. You were never going to get them to do this. Should they have done it? No, they shouldn't. But they did. So now, but at least they put it in your hands. They've seen it. They go from there. Game of Thrones is the #1 pirated TV show, I think, for the second or third straight year.
Yeah.
Why? Because HBO makes it impossible to watch it right in any sort of time fashion. You have to wait for the DVDs to come out almost a year later.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And we've got to give it to the people who get it right. And I have to say, the BBC with Doctor Who, another giant show. Sci-fi lovers adore Doctor Who. And then Breaking Bad came out. And when the season was over, pretty much on the dot. You didn't have to wait for too long. It was on Netflix. It was on Google Play. It was on Amazon Prime Video. It was basically anywhere you wanted to pay for that. You could pay a subscription or buy it outright and watch it in the format on the device you wanted to. very little strings attached. I don't know of any platform that Breaking Bad hasn't been on. Let me put it that way. Really cool stuff, and they made a lot of money digitally, which is great because it's a fantastic series. Don't let your kids watch it. Definitely for mature audiences, but a fantastic series.
I mean, look at
and it's
The Interview.
It really exemplifies that piracy is a business problem. It's not people running around stealing your content because they're super hackers with computers.
Oh, we just lost Tom. Anyway, hopefully he's still recording. Anyway, I was going to say, look at The Interview. The Interview was the movie, the Seth Rogen movie that North Korea hacked Sony over, allegedly, we think. And look what happened with that. They completely cut it off. They didn't show it in any movie theater. Now we have to do something.
Sorry about that.
I was just talking about The Interview. And here's a good business model. Everyone's been clamoring for, why can't we buy the DVD immediately after the show ends? We'll pay the VIG for it. We'll pay $30 for the movie instead of $15 or whatever it is. And they haven't done it.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, everyone would say, we go to the theater, we like it, have the Blu-ray, have the DVD, have some sort of redeeming thing, ultraviolet, whatever that is, or some way to play it right away. And we'll be happy, and we'll pay for it. Look at The Interview. As soon as it released out to Google Play and Netflix and everything, and they made like $15 or $20 million, right? It was something like that.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, if the Avengers had like a DVD box set as you're walking out of the theater in like a little gift shop, or a Guardians of the Galaxy box set, I would have paid for the collector's edition right out of the theater. It would be great.
So, I mean, again, Tom's connection. But yeah, I think that would have been great.
Yeah,
and I think it goes back to exactly what you said. It's a business problem. People are not wanting to try new things because they're afraid that it's going to ruin something or it's going to get somebody angry or anything like that. And every time someone does, it seems to go well. And it goes back to my idea. When Radiohead put the album out for free or pay what you want, people still pirated it. And it just goes to show those people, it's going to happen. We don't recommend it. But at this point, if you're good, if your production company is good, you will find a way to get it out there. And the ones that don't are the ones that are going to go in obscurity and are going to complain and yell and scream over everything because they're curmudgeons and they don't want to move in that positive direction.
Right. The future is here, and you either move with the future or you get run over. It's really as succinct as that. So you're going to pirate. We know you're going to pirate. Pirate's not the best word for it. There are several things we could call this. Let's call it copying without authorization. Or, for short, we'll just call it pirating. So how do you do it safely? Well, you should, by now, understand that things like LimeWire, Emule, Kazaa, etc., those old ancient programs, do not use those. They are unsafe. They are just hotbeds of nasty malware waiting to get to your system. Really, really bad stuff. Don't even touch it. I don't think LimeWire even functions.
Well, the issue with LimeWire was it was the successor to Napster. The problem is that once it realized that it could leverage some advertising revenue, they took it way too far, and they stuck in ads and they stuck in malware essentially. And I don't remember what it was, but every time you removed it, LimeWire wouldn't work and this and that. And then who knew what was on there? You never knew what you were getting, and you never knew. And once it was already on your system, you were already infected if it was a virus.
Exactly. I just want to give a big shout out to Time Warner Cable for the stability of my connection during this episode. Yeah, I mean, there were no comment fields. There was no checking. Some of these programs had antivirus built in, but it wasn't very good. And, you're going to get the latest and the greatest malware on your system by downloading through these apps. So modern day, stay away from it. Just stay away. There's nothing you can get.
These weren't malware. I mean, this was sanctioned malware. This was their way of saying this will enhance your saving money type of malware, where they would show you ads and everything else. The problem is that you were connecting to one person and you didn't know what was on their system, and it was just a hotbed because it turned out that what we said before, BitTorrent was the way to go. But this was that bastion of people who never moved over, and they're the ones spreading all these ancient viruses or even the new viruses. It was just an easy vector.
Yeah. So when there are two main roads you can go down when downloading things. I'm really going to cover torrents right now because I'm not.
We're going to cover torrents, but
more dropping because I. Exactly, you can protect yourself online. So I'm really going to concentrate on torrenting, torrents, and that whole thing. All right, number one, you hear about block lists a lot. You can use a block list if you want. Understand that they're going to be mostly useless.
Well, I was going to say that. I downloaded a program that had a block list, but I said, I'm sure the people checking the block list are smart enough to realize that they're on it. So it may stop the casual person, but it's not going to stop people who are actually trying to catch you.
You can look at an announced list. Essentially, the way technically a torrent works is your IP is out there. Just understand that your IP address will be out there, block list or not. Someone will see it. They don't have to connect directly to your machine. It doesn't help you that you're running Pure Guardian or Pure Block or a block list of any kind. If it makes you feel good, there's no harm in doing it. Just understand that it won't actually help you in any substantial way. Second, use the big sites. We're not going to name any of the big sites. You know who the big players are. You know that every time they try to shut one of these guys down, they keep coming back over and over and over again, much to everyone's, no one's surprise, really. Use the big sites, but when you use them, make sure you use an ad blocker. Use a browser that's up to date. Some of these sites, most of these sites, can't use reputable ad providers, which means you might get hit with a drive-by download if someone's using a compromised ad frame somewhere, that you get a bad.
Well, I didn't even think of that. That's a good one, Tom. Run with ad block because, like we said, you can't get the content network, so you're gonna get those questionable ads, as you call it.
I think we're back.
Yeah, you're back, and I was saying that. Yeah, I'm just piggybacking what you're saying. That I don't think the website's gonna give malware. I think you're right. It's gonna be the advertising network that will be infected.
Exactly. Right, and there's not a lot you can do about that. If it's a Java or Flash or Adobe Reader 0-day. Or even a browser 0-day. There's not a lot you can do to protect yourself, except not load those ads in the first place. Now, I understand these sites use ads to survive. It's a really difficult thing to say, hey, you should use an ad block and starve these guys of their revenue. But let's be real, it's probably more important to protect yourself. Yeah, it really is. So use AdBlock. There's lots of extensions on Firefox and on Chrome that do a great job at blocking ads.
Which, by the way, I just want to point out, if you are using an ad blocker, please whitelist the sites that you read, that you like, that you wouldn't mind supporting, because that is how they make money. The added benefit is that you can prevent ads from being shown that could potentially have malware, but you also are taking away from their money-making revenue. I also want to point out that I find it interesting that these websites that are promoting questionable material are asking for money.
Yeah. Yes. It's kind of hilarious, really, in a way. Another thing probably goes without saying, but we're going to say it anyway. use a VPN. Especially if you're downloading it at home, use a VPN, pay for a VPN, don't use one of these free things. It'll go a long way in helping anonymize you. It's not going to be completely anonymous. It's still charged to you, an email address, a credit card, something.
Well, my question to Tom when he comes back, and we apologize for Time Warner. Time Warner must hear that we're talking about something questionable, so they clearly don't want us talking about it. But
I think this is one of our worst for stability.
Yeah, but I was going to say, the problem with, I was going to ask, didn't Comcast show, or the EFF is trying to show that IP addresses are no longer identifiable because of, let's say, Comcast mesh network of sharing the IPs?
Well, they never have been. And you've had people all over the board arguing that they are or they aren't. The fact is, it doesn't hold water. IP addresses do not equal a person. They don't even equal a subscriber. If you've got a guest network, if you let your buddy on your Wi-Fi, if you have ever had a stranger come within your Wi-Fi range and you weren't using a strong enough password, someone using your Wi-Fi may not have been you. Right? Well, and you have to convince a jury that you are some kind of really secure guy, and there's no way anyone ever passing your Wi-Fi range could have used your network. And that's kind of a tall thing to prove.
Well, we also want to point that out. But so I guess the VPN is just, again, to anonymize you, but okay, so we have our VPN, we found our legitimate / illegitimate torrent sites. Now what?
Yep. Next, force encryption. Make sure you're downloading through an SSL connection. Now, most major torrent clients have, don't worry about encryption, don't use it. Use it if it's available. That would be nice. Most of them are set to that. So if you can use it, go ahead. But if not, don't worry about it. I say force encryption. Now again, it doesn't mean that the person also downloading something wouldn't be able to see you in the list of peers. They still will. What it means is that the things being downloaded, if you're having your traffic sniffed by your ISP, they're going to see an SSL connection. Now they're going to see a lot of them going to a hub or a bunch of different places, and they'll be able to tell it's torrent traffic, but it won't exactly be able to tell what you're downloading. So enable encryption, it makes it a little bit harder. It really won't hurt your download speeds. Go ahead and force that to be on.
But does it? I mean, it's still identifiable? I mean...
It would. I mean, they can see a peer connecting to another peer, but they can't tell what's in the tunnel. It's SSL traffic.
Okay.
And they can see, you going out to probably a public announce list somewhere in the BitTorrent internet sites. And, I mean, if they want to make a logical leap, yes, they can tell you're downloading something. The whole point is to help them, not be able to identify what it is you're downloading. But if someone, is sitting on the same tracker as you, downloading the same thing you are, or sending it to you, giving it to you, and media companies do this a lot. They'll put up a torrent and they'll say, hey, here's newest, latest, greatest movie in this awesome format. Please download this, and then they'll watch and they'll grab the IP addresses of everyone who's trying to get it, and then send letters to your ISP, and then your ISP has to come back on you and say, hey, you really shouldn't do that, and that's the best case scenario if they want to go after you. The worst case is you get sued for big dollars that could ruin you financially for 20 years. It's bad. Don't get me started on everything that happened way back in the day with music piracy when they were still suing individuals.
Well, and that was a funny thing. I remember
single moms ruined forever.
Remember the Pepsi commercial where they had all those people and Pepsi paid all their lawsuits?
Yep.
It was a Super Bowl commercial. But okay, so we're talking about you actually find something. But when should you worry about what you're downloading is actually legit? I'm asking that wrong. You want to download something, you're sure it's this, you're positive it's this, but what do you need to do just to double check?
To double check. Now, again, understand what you're downloading. If you're looking at, big name crime simulator game number 5 for some reason. Not that that would be a recent release or anything. And you look and the download is 5 megabytes. Hold on a minute. I think big name crime simulator number 5 is way bigger than 5 megabytes. Or the latest copy in 1080p of awesome Oscar winner number 7. It's not going to be 10 megabytes, right? It's going to be, you know, a file that's 2 or greater megabytes. Use a little bit of common sense when downloading. Understand the sizes. You're not going to get a movie in under 10 megs. And if you are, it's either going to be very short or very bad quality, probably both. Most often, it's going to be some sort of malware that'll infiltrate your system and cause you to have a bad weekend. Look at the sizes. You can see file lists in torrents. Look at all the big sites have got comment sections. And there will always be someone on the internet more brave than you that will download anything first and then go back and comment on it. Those people are our saviors.
Except for the person who always puts, and there's always one that will say this is a virus.
Yes, there's always a couple.
One. And it may be because of them, it may be because of something else, but there's always one. Just like Amazon reviews, there's always the 1-star person that says 1 star, didn't ship properly, and you're like, really? You're not commenting on the quality of the product. Dead on arrival. Well, stuff happens. Who knows? Blame UPS. But yeah, read the comments, see what's there, and I just wanted to add in, make sure that what you want is actually out and available. Yeah. Anything pre-release, there's a lot of mistakes with pre-releases. There's a lot of misdeception. So if you're already going to do something bad, you just wait till it comes out.
This happens a lot with, not that I would know, but from what I've heard, this happens a lot with TV shows in particular, where episode 5 has just launched. And you're in the next week, it hasn't aired yet, but you see episode 6 of that great TV show up there, and there's a couple different versions of it, and you're like, oh, wow, someone must have gotten a leaked copy. Not necessarily the case. A lot of those are malware authors trying to prey on you loving that specific TV show so they can infect your machine. Be very careful. And I'm not saying that someone couldn't give you a 2 gigabyte virus, I'm just saying it's a little bit more rare. Watch the comments section. People will scream fake. They'll scream bad quality. And, there are a few things worse than spending a day downloading something and realizing, the audio is in Russian and there are no subtitles. The comment section will save your life. That's probably the biggest advice I can give you when, illegally downloading anything. Watch the comments, see what people say, and, make sure it's been out for a little bit. Because there will be better versions, there will be more people that have gathered and checked out this particular piece of information you're pulling from the internet and either said, yeah, it's good, or no, it's bad, or even, it's passable, but you should probably wait for another one.
Well, it goes back to, and then finally, if you have the money to buy it or whatever it is, you saw it, you had to have the show now. Yes. You liked it, whatever it is, and you can afford it, throw them a couple dollars. Just because you did something wrong, make it up, and we've said this all episode. If you you shouldn't pirate, even if you can't afford it. I get that. You don't need to watch that TV show. You don't need to listen to that song. But you've done it, now what? If you can afford to buy it, throw them a couple dollars. They work hard on it.
In the case of bands, I mean, I have blatantly known friends that have pirated entire discographies of, indie bands, people that don't have money, that do this for the love of it, but then they go to every concert and they buy every single type of t-shirt and the sticker pack and the signed art book. Like, cool stuff like that. Put money into the artist's pockets. I think the biggest lesson is, if you like the stuff, if you want to see more of the stuff, if you want to help promote the people who are creating the things you love, put bread in their jar. Help them with their grocery bill. Help them pay their electric bill. Help them buy the guitar strings they use to make the stuff you love. and whether that's through a T-shirt or a download on Google Music, it matters a little bit, but it's all up to how and when you want to support these guys.
Money is always better than a kind word on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, but hey, if it's all you've got, if it's all you can afford, if it's all you're willing to shell out, a good review or some social media praise, that helps. It's not as good as paying them, but it's something.
So, anyway, we're just out of time. But again, we're not advocating that you pirate. But if it's an inevitability and you're going to do it, at least stay safe. We gave you some tips. And again, this is purely academic, but it's just stay safe.
Hey, Linux ISOs use BitTorrent.
So does everything pre-Walt Disney.
Yes.
So, anyway, guys, have a good night. We will see you next week. Bye.
See you guys.